Hey there, listeners. I am Joanne Lee Cornish, your truth bomb dropper in the world of weight loss, body composition, and mastering the art of rocking the body you've always deserved and dreamed of in midlife and beyond. Let's cut through the noise. Society tells us it's downhill from now on. We're told to embrace the middle-aged weight gain, embrace the muscle loss and poor health. If that's your vibe, then cool. But if you're ready to defy the narrative, then I am your gal. This podcast is a no fluff podcast where we break down the essential truths of body composition, toss around some practical tips, and dissect the latest trends. I'm not here to sugarcoat. I'm here to show you what's not just possible, but downright probable for you. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to click the link in the show notes to explore how we can team up and kick mediocrity to the curb. I offer one-on-one coaching, my ever-popular group coaching programs, and my corporate Educate to Elevate program. Okay, let's get on with the podcast. Enjoy. Hey guys, it is 15th of May, and I've got 3 podcasts in my head. I haven't recorded them yet, but in my head, this is what's going to be going on. Today, we're going to be talking about alcohol and blood glucose. It's not the story you think. Then we are going to talk about thyroid and HA1C. So that is something that's come up with three different people recently. Middle-aged ladies with thyroid issues that they just found out about, and pre-diabetic A1Cs, even though they are really healthy people. So that's not talked about. I wasn't even spoken to talk with them about. So we're going to talk about that. And then I've got one on injuries that show up in midlife. So let's start talking about alcohol. And I've been doing a presentation. I've got this one presentation on alcohol that I've been doing since 2009. And it's one of my favorite ones to present. And it's one of the ones that's really favorably received as well. But there's a little bit of a twist on it for today's podcast. So what I want to talk about today is why alcohol can lower or flatten your blood glucose, not increase it. So I would say generally, people would say, when they drink alcohol, their blood sugar is going to go up because it's straight up sugar. Straight up sugar, blood sugar is going to go up. But if you wear a continuous blood glucose monitor, or if you do the finger prick test for blood glucose, you might have seen that that's not actually the case. And if you have seen that, you might mistakenly think that you're getting a pass. You might well look at that and be like, woohoo, I can drink margaritas and my blood glucose is still good. So drink on. Well, I'm here to burst that bubble. So let's start at the beginning. Most people would assume drinking alcohol is going to increase blood glucose, but they would think the blood sugar is going to rise. And a lot of people, it does. Especially insulin sensitive, healthy people, that is not the case. And what you'll see is either your blood glucose doesn't move or it actually takes a dip. So why is that happening? And it all comes back to the liver. The liver, and I just spoke a little bit about this with my signature program. The liver does many things, but let's talk about fat loss. That, we need the liver to break down fat. With regards to blood sugar, the liver is responsible for maintaining our blood sugar. So it does 2 things here. So the liver can store sugar, store glucose. It stores about 400 to 600 calories. The storage form of sugar is called glycogen. Don't get confused with the terminology. Carbs on your plate turn into blood sugar and they're stored as glycogen. That's all. 3 different words for the same thing in a different form. Just like if you get water and you put it in the freezer, it turns to ice. Water, ice, 2 different words for the same thing in a different form. Carbohydrates on your plate, blood sugar in your blood, glycogen when it's stored. So the liver stores carbohydrates as glycogen and it stores about 400 to 600 calories. Why would it do that? The liver does that too, because the liver can actually release that glycogen that it's stored. If needed, it will break it down and send glucose back out into circulation when it is needed. So when you're sleeping, in between meals, if you're in a fasted state, if you're in a stress state, that is why we can sometimes see our blood glucose go up and down, especially up, even though we're not eating, and it's very confusing for people unless it's been explained to them. Well, that's the liver just stepping in to help you out, right? So the liver does, not can, it stores carbohydrates, about 400 to 600 calories, and it can also make carbohydrates. So it can also make glucose. And that's called gluconeogenesis. So gluconeogenesis is, as the name suggests, glucose neogenesis, new glucose. And the liver can actually make glucose from amino acids. Right there in itself is a miracle. The body can turn protein into sugar. The liver can take amino acids, dietary amino acids, or from organs or from muscle, and convert them through gluconeogenesis, convert them into glucose should the body need them. So the liver can both stores carbohydrates and it can make carbohydrates. It both stores sugar and it can make sugar. The liver is a pretty key player. Now, what happens when we drink alcohol? Well, alcohol is a primary toxin, and the body has to break down the ethanol. And because it's a primary toxin, when the liver is dealing with alcohol, it will do that before it does anything else. Everything else has to wait. So when I do this presentation with regards to fat, I will say, I will actually use this phrase that I read, gosh, probably 25 years ago. And it is I love it, 2 shots of vodka will reduce lipolysis by 75% for 4 hours. So 2 shots of vodka will reduce lipolysis. Lipolysis is fat breakdown by 75% for 4 hours. So those people say, oh, I just drink spirits. I just drink clean spirits because, there's no calories in it. Yeah, there's no calories, but it will still shut down fat burning. So sorry about that. So when the liver is dealing with alcohol, it won't break down fat. So when I'm coaching my weight loss clients, like my signature program, and I talk about alcohol, yes, there's calories in it. Yes, with some drinks, there's a lot of sugar in it. And of course, that's concerning, and your liver will not break down alcohol, will not break down fat. If it is breaking down alcohol, it will only do one thing at a time, and alcohol comes first. So then I'll say to people, so okay, if you are having a couple of cocktails every night, yeah, you're not drunk, you're probably not even tipsy, you're just winding down, but you are shutting down fat breakdown every single night. I did this presentation in Santa Monica back in about 2009, maybe 2010, but a long time ago, about this. And I said, okay, which is worse? The person that has a couple of drinks every night, or the person that drinks one night a week but gets wasted? I was being facetious, of course, but one lady left me a Yelp review saying that I was encouraging binge drinking. Good gracious. But my point was, is it better to drink a few drinks every night and shut down fat breakdown for hours every single night, or be in a fat breakdown environment all week and just one night a week be out of fat breakdown? I wasn't suggesting it. I was just trying to get people to think. My point here, now I can expand on this a lot. I do a really fascinating presentation on alcohol, the history of it, and genes, and amazing. I do say it myself. And if you want it, just message me. I'm happy to send you a link for it. joe@theshrinkshop.com. But when it comes to the alcohol, So when we drink alcohol, the liver's like, oh hey ho, I can't deal with anything else. I need to deal with this alcohol. So it's not going to do any fat burning, but it's also not going to do anything with blood glucose. Gluconeogenesis gets shut down. Glycogen breakdown slows down. Gluconeogenesis, the creation of new glucose, gets shut down. The body doesn't make it. And glycogen breakdown, so where the liver can break down glycogen and send glucose out into circulation, slows down. The result is your blood glucose can flatten or even drop, even if you've had a margarita or something. Why this matters? Well, for one, it matters because continuous blood glucose monitors are very popular now, and I think that's fantastic. I know everybody got sick of pricking their fingers. And if somebody sees on their monitor that they're drinking, their blood glucose isn't going up, they might think, oh, it's fine. No, I can just tolerate alcohol really well. It doesn't affect my blood glucose. They'll think that. Not the case. This means the liver is dealing with the alcohol you're drinking, so it's not going to deal with blood glucose. So you don't get that expected spike. Doesn't mean you're getting away scot-free. Just means you didn't get that spike. Now, just because you didn't get that glucose spike doesn't mean, oh, I'm still burning fat because my blood glucose is low. No, you're not, because the alcohol just shut down your ability to break down fat. It's pretty well understood that we have to control blood glucose in order to lose fat. And if you don't know that, please, please go look at my signature program. So it can be misinterpreted that while drinking alcohol, if your blood glucose doesn't go up, you're still in a fat breakdown environment. You're not. If you're if you're drinking alcohol, you are not in a fat breakdown environment, and you will not be for many, many hours afterwards, even though you didn't see that in your blood glucose. So why does this matter in midlife? Well, if you're trying to lose fat, don't be tricked by thinking, oh, my blood glucose is fine, so I can just keep pounding this stuff. No. Um, if you are somebody that has to manage your blood sugar or deals with hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, then you've got to be very careful, because alcohol can actually make your blood sugar lower and you feel woozy and dizzy, and it's not because you're drunk. Um, if you feel weird, if you wonder why you feel weird after you drink, that could be the reason why. Um, it's also important to know middle-aged people, men and women, we actually break down alcohol a lot slower as we get older. So if we're breaking alcohol down slower anyway, then it's kind of twice as bad. And ladies, we're usually smaller than men, so it hits us even harder. And those taking the weight loss medications, the GLP-1 medications, then these are already bringing your blood sugar down. If you then drink alcohol, which maybe, if you haven't got an appetite because you're taking these meds and you're not eating very much, and then you drink and your blood sugar drops even lower, it could put you in a weird position. So just be ready for that. So who gets most affected? Yes, it's if you're in a fasted state, if you're very healthy, actually, if you're very insulin sensitive, uh, and you drink alcohol, it can take your blood glucose pretty low. If you're not eating many carbs, so you haven't got much blood sugar anyway, it can take you low, or at least flat. And yes, if you're using the weight loss medications, just be aware of that, especially if you are new to them and your appetite's gone away, but you still manage to drink. It can put you in a weird spot. So that's it for today. I'm just going to keep this one short and sweet. Um, if you'd like to work with me, then send me an email, joe@theshrinkshop.com. Tell me your frustrations, tell me your dreams, and I'll tell you how I can help. Meanwhile, I'm going to keep providing what I think is fascinating information on health and body composition in midlife and beyond. I do hope you enjoyed this episode of Midlife Mayhem. Be sure to subscribe and be sure to tell your friends about this wonderful podcast. If you would like more of me, then on social, it's simple, just my name at Joanne Lee Cornish. Also, my website, theshrinkshop.com, where you can see all my coaching programs. There are many, many ways we can work together. Obviously, I do private one-on-one coaching. I do all my programs are in a self-study form, and all my programs are run as a live program at least once a year. I try and do twice, but it usually ends up being once. I have mindset program. I have my awesome 5-day peak week shred that people love. I have the signature weight loss program. I have Tight 28, which is advanced weight loss. I have muscle mastery, and I have mastering midlife. So 6 programs that offer a progression to fully understand body composition through the ages. If you have questions, if you're kind of wondering how I can help you, then simply shoot me an email at jo@theshrinkshop.com. Tell me what's going on, and I'll get back to you and let you know the way I can help. Okay, that's it for now.